Hey, welcome back everyone. I'm really excited today to record this video and that's because I saw a video on YouTube from a channel called Arcadia Squad that they remastered the GTA Sunrise map completely in Unreal Engine, and that was really cool. I have not ever seen anything like that. It was really beautiful, and it was a real good art. And I will put a link in the description so you can go ahead and watch it. And I have some good news for our works and also some bad news. Well, the good news is that I was able to get rid of all of the duplicated textures in the map. So let me show you right now. If I go into textures, filter it by textures, you can see that we do not have any duplicated textures. However, sometimes I got into some problems and the prefabs took the wrong materials. So for example, I think this is the wrong material for here, so I'll have to manually fix it later. But fortunately, they are not a lot. I think maybe under 100. So this can be fixed by hand. This was the good news, and the bad news is that I got exported the asset bundle to share it with you, but as you see the size in here, 20 gigabytes. I can't share that with you right now. And the problem is not with the textures. The textures got almost up to 2 gigabytes, and that's not the problem. The problem was with the FBX files that I included the textures with them. So I guess I have to go ahead and export these prefabs as FBX. Then I'll be sharing it with you. So not this week, but later, I promise. I'll make it available to you so you can download it and use it in Unity. Anyway, now let's start some coding. Now, these are all the individual prefabs that I have made, and we are going to place them in the map. So right now, I will just delete all of them. Okay. Now, I want to go into the models, map complete, and here I have the LAE. I do not have the Vegas or other stuff that I showed in the previous video. I just deleted them because they had the textures with them and they were getting a lot of space, about 8 gigabytes. So I deleted them and exported them again from Blender, and these are without the textures, so the size is really low. Anyway, let's start with LAE. Right now, if I take it into here, we can only see the map, and we are not going to use a map or texture or anything. We are just going to use it as to record the position and rotation of each of the FBXs. In here, position and rotation, we are going to record them into a scriptable object. So with that being said, now let's get started coding. Inside the scripts, I'll create a new C# script. Inside the scripts, structs, I'll clear the C# script and I'll call it map object. And this is going to be a struct that we use to actually store these objects in them. So I mean by object, I mean like these three, this one, all of them. Let's open it in Visual Studio. Wait, now. Okay, let me take this. We are not going to inherit from anything. This is just a basic struct. And also we want to make this struct serializable, so just three simple variables in here. And the first one will be public string object name, public vector 3 object position, and the public quaternion object rotation, right? And just the constructor map object that takes in a transform map object reference. Our name, let me show you something in here before we continue. If you look at here, for example, this tree, the actual basic model is the public underline palm01, and these are just the instances. They got duplicated and they added the dot 001 002, so we do not need the second part, we are going to only need the first part. So get back to Visual Studio, and the object name will be equal to map object reference dot name dot split by dot, and we will take the first part. Yep, and the object position will be map object reference dot position object rotation, you might guess it, map object dot rotation. Finish. Okay, now let's create our scriptable object. Let me scripts, scriptable objects, and I'll call it map data. Now delete these guys, and we are going to inherit from scriptable object. And now we need the create asset menu here. File name equals new map data, and the menu name equals map / map data. And the scriptable object will be serializables. Let me add this in here. Using system serializable. Yep, that's it. And we are only going to store a list of map objects in our scriptable objects. Map objects. Okay, and inside the awake function we want to check if map objects is equal to null, then we will just instantiate it. Map objects equals new list map object, and after all we needed another function, public void add object, and it will take a map object. Now we just call map object dot add objects dot add map object. Yeah, that's it all for this. And also another function for instantiating our map objects or game objects actually, and I will return the game object itself. I'll call it instantiate map object, and we'll just again take a map object. Now we keep a reference to what we are going to load, and this will be game object temp, game object asset database dot load asset at path, assets, prefabs, map, plus the map object dot object name plus dot prefab, and we specify the type in here, type of game object, and now I will just say if temp equals null, return null. I just want to make sure that we won't get any errors. Now we say temp equals instantiate temp, and I say temp dot transform dot position equals map object dot object position, temp dot transform dot rotation equals map object dot object rotation, and after all I say temp dot name equals map object dot name, and then I return the temp. That's it all. Now let's get back into Unity for a couple of moments. Okay, now I've got a folder called map data in here, and I want to go into the create asset menu, map data, and I call it LAE. Now inside the inspector we've only gotten the array, or actually the list that I showed you in here, that list, but we do not need that. We can't go on and assign this individually to it. So what we have to do is to create a custom inspector for it. So inside the editor, custom inspector, a scriptable object, I'll create a new C# script called map data inspector. I'll open it and I'll delete this and some rows, and we are going to inherit from the editor. Okay, and also the using Unity editor here. Now we need a public game object called parent map. I will show you what do I mean by this one. And inside the unenable, I want to call, we also need map data in here, map data, I want to say the map data equals map data of the target. Okay. Now we have to override the uninspector GUI in here. Now I want to make a field that we can assign the parent map actually inside the inspector. I'll call parent map equals game object editor GUI layout dot object field, and we are going to show the parent map, and this will be type of game object, and we are going to allow using the scene objects in here. And also I will create a label that shows the number of map objects that we actually have in here. So this is the label field, number of objects plus map data dot map objects dot count dot to string. That's it. Now we need two buttons. The first one will be recording the places of the objects. So I say GUI layout dot button record map objects. The transform now we need an array of transforms in here that is actually a list of all of the child objects of the parent map. So this will be transform objects equals parent map dot get components in children. I want to get all of the transforms in here, and I say map data dot map objects dot clear. Yeah, it's better right now. Remember to call this, because maybe you want to remove some objects. If you don't call this, they won't get removed later. So always remember to call it. I want to for each right now for all of the transforms in the childs in objects. I say if a.name equals parent map.name, just continue, don't do the rest. Now we need map object temp equals new map object of a. Yeah, that's really cool. I say map data dot add object temp. That's it all for this part. And now we're going to need another button. I say GUI layout dot button, and this will be instantiate our map objects. I will just iterate through all of the map objects in our map data. A in map data dot map objects, and I say map data dot instantiate map object A. And that's it all for all of the coding. I think it was a little bit boring, but it will get interesting in future videos, don't worry about it. Now let's get back into Unity and select our LAE map data in here. Oh, I forgot adding this little thing here. Custom editor type of map data. That's it. I forgot this one. Okay. Okay, now here we have our inspector. Currently we have 0 objects. And for the parent map that I told you that I'm going to explain it, is actually this one. This is going to be the parent game object that is containing all of the child objects of the map. So let's just select LAE, reference it, and then just hit record map objects. And we are done. We have 1426 objects in LAE. We can just simply go ahead and delete this, select LAE again, and hit instantiate map objects. Okay, now here we are. We've got the map in here. Everything is cool. And we've got to do some other improvements also, but I'll leave it to the future videos. So this is for the LAE. Let's go for map data LAE2, and from the map complete I'll take in this map, zero out everything. Yeah, it's here. Inside the map data I'll select LAE2, reference it, record map objects, delete it, select it again, and hit instantiate map objects. Okay, now here we have it. Yep. The reason that it takes long to get instantiated it's because it is going to read them from the hard disk. So it takes a little bit of time, and after it just copies it into memory, so you won't get any FPS drop or FPS lag even. That's it all. But for this, we will have to make a fix. We can't make a game like this that the main core just gets locked up until it instantiates all of the objects. That's not good. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoy my videos, and if it was a little bit long and boring, just let me know that I will later change the way I'm recording my videos. And if you have any questions, ask them in the comments and I'll be do my best to guide you. So thanks for watching my videos, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.